so much for being here today. We will get started with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Dakota Gibson.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Gloria Carlin will deliver our welcome speech.
Welcome to the Academy of Choice 2018 graduation ceremony. On behalf of the graduation seniors, I would like to thank all of our families, friends, parents, teachers, and staff for being here today. Walking through the doors to this campus, many of us were greeted by a positive environment and caring teachers. The life lessons we learned throughout the years have prepared for success. This ceremony is a tribute to everyone who believed in us, those who knew we needed support, and to help us fulfill our goals and our dreams. Reminding us that everything is okay and this isn't a chapter in our lives. I would like everyone to look at one another, knowing you should be proud of these graduates who are sitting before you as a result of hard work and our teachers' dedication. And I would like to thank Mr. Gray personally for all of his support through my school years. To everyone, thank you for joining us today and welcome to the graduation. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce our valedictorian, Alondra Martinez. Will you come up, please?
Good morning. Fellow seniors, family, faculty, and friends, as I walk the stage today, it hit me that today is the day. Today, our high school journey comes to an end. I wish there was a way you would know that the good old days are done before you actually left them. Each one of us will be heading our separate ways, but in the meantime, let's remember that we have learned, laughed, loved, gotten into trouble, and most of all, matured together. But today isn't just about reminiscing on the past, it's also about looking forward into our future. When I first joined Academy of Choice 3 years ago, I would have never imagined that I would come across some of the people that would impact my life the most. I remember everyone feeling lost during our freshman year, our first day of school. Where would I sit? Would the people be nice? Do I even fit in? Or simply, how do I get to this class? I came across all kinds of friends, people to talk to, people that talk, people that don't really talk, people that bring out laughs in you, others that want to make you cry, people that want to fight everyone, and people that want to stop people from fighting. But AOC wouldn't be the same without anyone, if any one of them weren't there. This applies to the students and as well as its very original staff. Mr. Gilmore was sure to remind us that we should feel like a kid the night right before Christmas, but instead of presents, opening a world of knowledge each time we open a history book. Ms. Strickland, that in math there are no multiple choices, and like the driver's test, you will need to study to pass, and not the night before. Mr. Cook, reminding us that any buts we add are just excuses, and it won't work in real life. The science teacher showing us that Bill Nye isn't the only one that knows about science, and our English teachers expanding a proper way to write an essay, which we'll be doing a lot of in college. Next, I'd like to take a moment on behalf of myself and my classmates to thank some of the people that have helped us get here. First, I'd like to thank the amazing principal who manages to run both the Academy of Choice and Cornerstone Academy. She has managed to get to know each one of us and help us each individually in any circumstance that she could. I really hope to come across more people like her now that we're stepping into the real world, like my parents like to remind me. Thank you, Ms. Wright. Next, I would like to thank all of the AOC staff members, because without each one of you, AOC would not be AOC. From Mr. Gray wishing us a very good day at the Academy, to Mr. Gilmore's joke of the day, to seeing Ms. Wright go from one school to another on her pretty pink scooter, to the counselors waiting for us in the Student Center to complete a survey. Let's not forget the front office staff that is always welcoming us in, even if sometimes it's with a tardy slip. Thank you to our parents. Without you, most of us would really not be here. Thank you for being the alarm clock we cannot hit snooze on, the school bus we can't miss, and the friend that won't leave our side. Thank you for giving us that one piece of advice that we really needed to simply keep going forward. Last but not least, I would like to thank every single one of our mentors, even mine that couldn't make it today, for being our second counselor, or second parent, third parent, sorry, and supporting our decisions. We owe it all to y'all. When looking into the future, I am happy, for although my life will contain sadness and heartbreak, it will also contain joy and love and success. And I know my classmates will too. So don't look back and regret, my friends. Look forward and smile. We're now high school graduates, and soon we'll be signing each other's yearbooks and saying goodbyes. There will be hugs and tears, but we'll be living our lives doing what we each do best. And to our underclassmen, as Dr. Seuss once said, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. Make sure that once it's your time, it's across the stage. Congratulations, we did it.
We have a lot to carry, so Ms. Burr, valedictorian. Clock to put in this, so people won't kick it over. Your certificates. You're good.
Hi, I'm Ms. Heinzman, one of the counselors, and each year we have 2 scholarships that are available to only Academy of Choice students, and this year we have 2 recipients for those scholarships. The first one is the Spring Branch ISD Vending Machine Fund, and the first recipient of that for $1,000 to it goes to Kylie Von Blum. And before I present the next one, is there anyone here from the Spring Branch High School alumni? Usually they present this one, but I just want to make sure before I present it. Our next recipient is a recipient of 2 scholarships. One is the second recipient of the Spring Branch Vending Machine Fund, and then his second one he received first and second place for because he was our only applicant, but his application was still fantastic. So he received a total of $3,000 today between those 2 scholarships, and that's Armando Rodriguez. will be attending Texas A&M Corpus Christi in the fall, and Armando will be attending Lynn and Brenham in the fall, and this money will go toward their education.
Next, we'd like to recognize some outstanding students in our student body. And so Ms. Sabella and Mr. Cook could come up and give me a hand.
All right, so the first student I want to talk about, I had her last year as a freshman, and this year she is a sophomore. She is one of the most generous, loving people I've ever met. And anyone who calls himself her friend is incredibly lucky. The first person is Amira Johnson. So the second student I want to recognize today, I've only had him for 1 year, and I have to say he is the most respectful person I have ever met, and he's incredibly brilliant. He's such a hard worker, and I know he's going to do amazing things once he goes forward. That is Kevin Quinones.
Get that way.
Slow down, buddy. You're good.
I'm going to hand out a couple of other awards here. This individual, I'm going to tell you a real quick story. I think it was October, November. I was having a real bad day, and I was coming to school, and as usual, he was sitting out in the very front where you guys were before you came in here to the office. And he had this smile on his face. And I was not feeling too good, and he started talking to me, and just the way his demeanor was, his positivity and his smile and everything, just made me, it kind of changed my whole attitude for that day. And then I saw him later in class, and I thought to myself, I told him, I said, you know, it's hard not to have a good attitude when I come walking in here and I see you. I've never seen this kid complain. I've never seen him ever say anything bad about anybody. And generally, all you have to do is say, can you help? And he'll go, yeah. And that would be Antonio Perez. Next person I'm going to talk about, she would come into class, and if you didn't have something for her and you weren't ready to go, she would always say, why not, what's wrong? Because she was always trying to get things done, move on, go to the next thing. And so she would always push you a little bit. If the bell rang and I didn't have her paper or something, she'd be like, really, Mr. Cook, really? And so she's always pushing teachers, and that's probably why she'll be successful after she graduates, and she is a senior. That's Kate Mena.
I swear I didn't realize that these were this big when I saw them in the catalog. This is the Principal's Award that usually I give to someone who has just really stood out in terms of their character, their perseverance. This young lady is the definition of perseverance. With all of the obstacles she has faced, she has come out shining, strong. Is going to be doing some amazing things in her life. Alexia Hernandez. Sadly, I didn't get to see this student around as much this year, but I did dedicate a wall to him pretty much with photos. Didn't mean to be that way, but he's involved in everything, and so his picture ended up being in every picture that I hung up. But he has remained an outstanding young man and as polite and involved as I could ever hope. Dakota Gibson. With these outstanding individuals that we have at Academy of Choice, we felt that it was about time that we have a National Honor Society. So Ms. Fenwick and Ms. Isabella have stepped up to the plate, and they created a charter for us. So this is our first group of inductees. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Fenwick for our Honor Society induction.
All right, so we are starting small this year. As Ms. Wright said, this is our first year, but we have big plans for the future. And we want to recognize the students who've been selected by our NHS committee and induct them as new members in our brand new chapter. So these students were selected based on the 4 tenets that the National Honor Society holds in high esteem, and that's scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Scholarship denotes the student's commitment to lifelong learning. Service speaks to their willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without payment or public recognition. And leadership is the student taking the initiative in the classroom and in school activities. Character is the daily striving to make the right choice. These students have shown excellency and diligence in their high academic achievements, as well as by being leaders, showing admirable character, and participating in service projects. When I call your name, please come up to the stage and receive your tokens of membership in the Spring Branch chapter of the National Honor Society. Itzel Dominguez. Dakota Gibson. Martinez. And finally, Emmanuel Padilla.
And since the others are graduating, I guess we know who our president's going to be next year. And now the time has come. If I could have the first row, please stand. These students will be, many of these students will be walking with their zoned high school in which they will be getting their diplomas. So we have for them just a token of our appreciation, but the most likely to. They also will be receiving a rose, which we encourage them to give a rose to an adult that made a difference in their lives. Okay? So, Yvonne, besides? Yvonne is most likely to become a teacher. And lose her hat.
I would like to give my thanks to AOC for accepting me back. But most of all, thanks to my family. There's 4 people who pushed me to do better in life. I'm thankful to have my mom, my aunt, my cousin, and Lily that pushed me and supported me and who never gave up on me when I was always down, and they always picked me up when I got knocked down. And the only one who I'm doing this for is for my son. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. Every time I wanted to give up, I glanced at my son to remember me to keep going on and to do better for him. And today I'm making my family proud and myself.
Tony Guerrero. Tony is most likely to get in an argument with a mirror.
I want to thank my mom, my dad, my sisters for supporting me all the way through high school. Without them, I probably wouldn't be here to this day. I want to thank Ms. Kinesman, Ms. Lazo, Ms. Gilmore, and just all the staff at AOC. Without them, this probably wouldn't be possible. Thank you.
Sergio Sandoval.
Hey, Sergio!
Sergio is most likely to be a shoe designer or rapper. Shoe designer, rapper. Rapper, shoe designer.
Man, I feel like living a dream right now. You know, when I came here, I thought it was going to be the same as I thought it was. But until I met the right friends that I met, one thing my boy Richard, my boy Rogelio, all your seniors, I'm not going to say all your names because there's too many of you.
To all AOC staff members, thank you for supporting me. To my family, thank you, my mom. Thank you for supporting me all the way through. And my dad, I like to call Apachito. Thank you, Dad, for everything. And Michael, I'm gonna see you up here, man.
Rogelio Castro? Rogelio is most likely to answer your questions with a shrug.
I just want to thank my friends, my family, and the teachers. And Mr. Gilmore, I want to miss your jokes.
Richard Venegas? Richard is most likely to go where the wind takes him and not worry about it.
Hey guys! Hey, I told you I was gonna graduate. Hey, I gotta say, I went to my parents. Where you guys at? I don't know where you are, but hey, Ama, Apa, Tia, Azia, Michelle, my girl right there, who helped me graduate through everything I did. Hey, homeboys, crew, you guys know where you are, alright?
Paige Hansen? Paige is most likely to become a rock star.
That's not a thing. I got one word. Suddenly, my son is gay.
Oscar Velasquez? Oscar is most likely to create a blog about sneakers and indie music.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to begin thanking, first off, God for giving me the opportunity to be here and graduating at AOC. I'd also like to thank my mom for pushing me to finish high school when no one else did. I'd lastly like to thank the teachers who helped me get through the school year, and they are Mr. Reyna, Mr. Weisinger, Ms. Heinzman, Ms. Betlig, Ms. Lazo, and lastly, Mr. Gilmore for the amazing jokes. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you.
Maria Ayala? Maria is most likely to have her kids call her Ma instead of Mom or Mommy.
I want to give a special shout out to my parents. Gracias por todo y por apoyarme en todo lo que hago. Los amo mucho. I also want to say thank you to the AOC staff who helped me throughout the 3 years. I will miss all of you. I also want to give a special shout out to my boyfriend. I love you and thank you for being in my life. Thank you to the few friends that I have left. I will miss y'all, especially my best friend Maria and Edson. I love you.
Maria Velasquez? Maria is most likely to visit the pyramids in Egypt.
I just want to thank my mom and my dad, especially my mom for always believing in me, my boyfriend, and everybody here. Thank you.
Maria Roque? Maria is most likely to look up when someone calls her sister's name.
I just want to say thank you to my family, especially to my mom. Gracias, mamá, por siempre estar ahí conmigo por todos los pasos que he hecho. y por creer en mí. Te quiero. And thanks to all the teachers for the knowledge you guys have given us. Thank you to Mr. Cook for a great job of an opportunity I have received. Thank you to Ms. Fernandez for always being there for me throughout the whole 3 years. Thank you.
Luis Rodriguez. Luis is most likely to win a Best Actor Oscar for acting on a reality show.
God. All right. I'll make this short. I want to thank Ms. Valori, Banaona, Lazo, and pretty much all of y'all for just welcoming. Oh, I can't even finish this. But all right, just thank all of you pretty much for everything you do for us.
Pam Mania. Pam is most likely to be wearing a superhero costume under her graduation gown.
No, I'm here. I just want to thank Dad. I love you, and my mom. I don't know if she made it, but oh, I see. Oh my God, I'm gonna get out. Okay. Just thank you, everybody. Like Lazo, Heinzman, Miss Strickland, Mr. K, Mr. Cook. You surprised me. Raina. Who else? Gilmore! Dude, y'all are really cool. Like, I appreciate like coming here. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Wright.
Kylie is most likely to win a contest for parallel parking.
I'd like to thank all the teachers at AOC, especially Ms. Randall, Mr. Wagner, and Ms. Oxman. I'd also like to thank my friends, and especially my mom, for always believing in me and supporting me through everything. Thank you.
Keyshawn McFadden. Keyshawn is most likely to root for the Rockets after they win the NBA title this year.
First of all, I'd like to thank my mom and my little brother. Oh, there they are right there. I'd like to thank Miss Wright for like the 10 second chances that she gave me at this school. All my friends over there that I beat in cards this year, last year. Mr. Gilmore, for whenever I had a bad morning, he always had a joke when I walked into his classroom. Mr. Weisinger, Ms. Lazo, all the counselors. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Jocelyn Solaris. Most likely to every day be Jocelyn's solar panels.
I thank my mom, my teachers for helping me.
Josh Vagina. Josh is most likely to have a basketball hoop over his trash can at work, crumple up his TPS report cover sheets, and shout "Rainmaker" as he shoots.
I would like to thank my parents and my teachers and Ms. Lazo and Ms. Heinzman. Without them, I wouldn't be here today. Thank you.
Jose Rana. action anime practical joke show.
It's tough. I want to thank my family. They're right there. Ms. Heisman, Ms. Lasso, Mr. Reyna, Mr. Gilmore, and Ms. B, and Ms. Wright, of course. You forgot Ms. Wright.
John Castillo. John is most likely to play pro ball in Japan and get more hits than Sadaharu O. Aoki.
Japanese I've been through the ringer these past 5 years, I can't lie. I'd have to thank every single person who has devoted their time to me, even though I felt like a burden. So I would like to thank everyone, especially my dad with his illness. If I can keep striving forward, you can't too, Dad. I love you.
Jennifer Gonzalez. Jennifer is most likely to, and is, the nicest, most helpful person.
I just want to thank everyone, especially my mom. Gracias, ma, por todo, por estar conmigo. My dad, gracias, ma.
Janae Gilbert. Janae is most likely to be a famous Instagram chef that takes the best selfies with her food.
First of all, I just want to thank God and thank you to the AOC staff and teachers. And I want to thank my mom the way with it. Thank you, and I just wish my daddy could see me watch the stage, but I know he's proud of me. And I just want to thank my friend Sierra for always being by my side, and thank you.
Jasmine Napoleon. Jasmine is most likely to be exiled to the island of Elba. Jade Liu. Jade is most likely to move to England. Guillermo Hernandez. Guillermo is most likely to make money moves.
First of all, I want to thank my jefita. Where my jefita at? Ooh, te quiero, ma. Y el amor de vida, ¿dónde está? Oh, there you are. And all my teachers, Mr. Gilmore, what's up, baby? What's up, baby? Everybody, Lasso, Heisman, is right. And everybody, you know what I'm saying? Made it out.
Gisela Ronaldo. Gisela is most likely to ring you out for organic carrots when you definitely grabbed regular carrots. Itzel Rivas.
And I want to thank all of y'all. Armando, I want to thank Armando for always making me laugh. And I want to thank Miss Wright, Miss Heisman, Miss Lazo, Mr. Gilmore, well, basically everybody who helped me out. And my friend Maria and Jocelyn, I love y'all.
Gloria, Carlos? Gloria is most likely to visit the White House and just start moving her stuff in.
I just want to say thank you to my mom, because if it wasn't for her always waking me up in the morning, I wouldn't be here. And thank you to Jennifer over there, that she pushed me. And to all my friends, my teachers, especially Mr. Gray, because I never seen him mad. He's always positive. Mr. Gilmore, and Mr. Reyna, and Ms. Fernandez, especially Ms. Valori. Thank you.
Now, Sam's most likely to ask, is there anyone else warm? Then rip the sleeves off of his shirt.
I would just like to thank the staff at AOC, my friends, and my family. Without y'all, this wouldn't have been possible.
Diego is most likely to be in the band and have the best hair.
That's how I got it.
So, I had a speech written, I'm not gonna go with it. I didn't think I was gonna make it, had it not been for Ms. Heinzman, specifically Ms. Heinzman, and all the friends I've had.
Diana Ortiz. Diana is most likely to hit your car while backing out.
I want to say thanks to my mom, my dad, and my best friend that couldn't be here. I really didn't think I was going to make it, but I did. And to every single teacher that I had, Reina, Lori, Gilmore, Randall, and especially to Ms. Ranjona that helped me a lot when I first got here. Thank you.
Destiny Gonzalez. Destiny is most likely to star in a toothpaste commercial.
I want to say thank you to Ms. Diaz and Ms. Williams. Thank you.
Dakota Gibson. Dakota is most likely to duck.
I'd like to thank my mom. I'd like to thank my sister. I'd like to thank my grandmother, all my friends. Thank you.
Sierra. Sierra is most likely to become a lawyer.
Well, all, I want to give a shout out to my mom for always being here for me. I also want to thank the teachers and staff for who pushed me to become who I am today. Also, I want to thank Mr. Gilmore for the joke of the day. I'm really going to miss you. Thank you, Ms. Heisman. And I want to give a shout out to my friend Janae for always being there for me. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be here.
Principals make mistakes. Sometimes I think about that one with Mr. Gilmore and the joke of the day. Okay, Chris Hernandez. Chris is most likely to become a professional soccer player.
What? I'm not gonna happen. I'll try my best.
I want to thank my whole family, my mom, te quiero mucho. I want to thank my friends too for supporting me. Ms. Lazo, Mr. Gilmore, thank you for always bothering me to do my work. And well, thank you all.
Casey Pickard. Casey is most likely to smile as she makes a globe.
I just want to say thank you to my mom and all the staff and teachers and everyone, but I want to thank two teachers in particular, Miss Gian and Miss Taiwani, for making my graduation official. So I really want to thank y'all for helping me get through it. So yeah, thank you everyone.
Brenda Solis. Brenda's most likely to make her family proud, and I think she did.
I just want to thank everybody who supported me, because without you I wouldn't be here. Especially my Heisman for believing in me, and Mr. Gray for keeping me positive.
Angel Ochoa. Angel is most likely to get to park up front because he does such a good job.
What's the deal, man?
I want to thank my family. Gracias, Pa. Sandy, I found you. I want to thank all the teachers. Thank you, Ms. Wright, Heisman, Ms. Welle, Mr. Gray, Gilmore. Nah, I don't think so. Cook, Ms. Fernandez, Reina, Lori. Just thank y'all.
Alondra Martinez. Alondra is most likely to become a mean mugging professor at Harvard University.
Thank you, Mr. Gilmore. I would like to thank all of the AOC staff. Literally every single one of you, even if I didn't have you for a class, I'm sure I ended up in your classroom complaining or delivering something from the front office. I'm gonna miss all of y'all. And thank you to my family. Gracias, abuela, por siempre estar ahí. Sorry, I already spoke a lot. really wish the best of luck to all the seniors. I hope to follow y'all back on Instagram now. I won't see y'all every day at school anymore. Mr. Cook, I'm gonna come visit you every day. Ms. Valori, I hope you can teach me how to draw, please. To all the science teachers and math teachers, I'm gonna come ask y'all for help. Thanks for teaching my favorite subject, even if you recycled my work, Mr. Reina. Thanks for making this the best years of my life. Yay.
Armando Rodriguez. Armando is most likely to tell the second best jokes on campus.
The speech. I wrote too many of these, don't even know which one to read. Alright. Anyways, like what happened like 20 minutes ago, like I deleted the original speech, so like I was quickly trying to write a new one. Anyways, this is how this goes. First off, I just wanted to say earlier, like I said, I deleted my official graduation speech on accident. And while I wrote so many of these graduation speeches, and I finally choose one all over again, and this is all of it from scratch. So save the best for right, I guess. The first thing I like to say is, and I think it can help a lot of people, an underclassmen or anyone who thinks they can't achieve anything, looking back on everything I've accomplished and how far I've came, one thing I've learned is I believe that we are who we choose to be. Nobody is going to save you. You've got to save yourself. Nobody is going to give you anything. You have to go out and fight for it. Nobody knows what you want except you, and nobody will be as sorry as you if you don't get it. Also, one thing I've learned being here at AOC was don't be afraid of change. You may lose out on something good, but you might gain something even better. There's more. Wait, don't clap. All right, thank you. All right, so please don't give up on your dreams. As for the class of 2018, we did it. The day we all have been waiting for is here in front of our eyes, and I'm happy to know I got a chance to meet all of you. I wish you the best in life with what the future has to bring. And as far as the teachers and staff and every member of Academy of Choice, thank you for everything. You all created me. Thank you.
Andre Osorio. Andre is most likely to become an animator for children's shows.
Children's shows? I mean, I guess, why not? Just gonna keep it short. I want to thank my girlfriend. She's here. I want to thank my friends, my teachers, especially Valori. She's freaking cool. Gilmore and his stupid jokes. I want to thank my family. Without them, I wouldn't want to get out of that house. And I want to thank Ms. Wright for giving me a second chance after I punched a glass door and broke it because I was angry. Yeah, that's it. I also want to thank Satan.
Amethyst Garcia. Amethyst is most likely to join the Houston Ballet.
Firstly, I'd like to thank my mom and my grandma and my uncle
thank y'all for always supporting me and being there and never giving up on me. I want to thank all my teachers at AOC, Ms. Lazo, Ms. Valori, my mentor, Ms. Wilson. Thank y'all, like y'all never gave up on me. And all my friends, my best friend who wasn't able to be here, Brianna, my sister-in-law, Jasmine, my nigga, Henny, and everybody hit me up for the Addie May 26 graduation party. Oh,
Alex Arteaga. Alex is most likely to brag about how many wins he got in Fortnite.
I want to thank my mom and all the teachers that helped me get to the graduation today. So yeah, thank you.
Adrian Simano. Adrian is most likely to make candy that looks just like him.
I'd like to start off by thanking my mom and my grandma, and basically family. I used to think family was an F word, but I come to learn that they're really there to care for you. And I also want to say, I want to thank the staff of AOC along with the teachers for helping the kids out to the max of their capabilities. I want to thank especially Ms. Lazo and Ms. Heinzman for putting up with me and showing me that I can do better than what I used to think. I've learned a lot during the process of barely finishing high school, but I'm glad I did. Maybe not with flying colors, but in the end I was done. I wish I could alter the past to change the position I'm in, but I realize you can't live until you die a little. So my worst moments were really my best. As the great Vin Diesel once said, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. I'm glad to have graduated from AOC, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Thank you, Ms. Wright, for accepting me, and thank you, Ms. Barana, for helping me the entire way.
I'm so sad. You want another one? Alexia Hernandez. Alexia is most likely to win the Principal's Award. Oh yeah, she just did. Adrian Martinez. Adrian is most likely to wear his sunglasses indoors.
I mean, look, it took me a while to get here, but I'm here, right? So I'm happy, you feel me? I couldn't be here without my moms, without my little boy Adrian Jr., without his mother, without my family, you know what I'm saying? It took me a while, but hey, I'm here. Appreciate it.
Leslie Sanchez. Leslie is most likely to always find happiness.
Well, I want to give thank you to my mom, my family. I did it for my son as well. I know I'm young, but I made it through school. I'm waiting for college. And I just want to give a shout out to Ms. Barahona for helping me out through my senior and junior as well, Ms. Heisman too. And I want to give a big shout out to my favorite teacher of all, Ms. Strickland.
I'd like to thank Mr. Gilmore for coming up with the most likely to. That's a very challenging job. I am not taking the credit, that's for sure. Congratulations. This is it. You may go ahead and move your tassel over. I'm proud of each and every one of you. You have really proven yourselves to yourself. We have a drawing. Ms. Veronica, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hey everybody. So we have these in the front office and we didn't forget about y'all. Can I get a volunteer from the audience? Tony, come on down. You're the next contestant. I think you're taking it. Alright. You gotta pick two.
Huh?
Pick two.
Take two. Okay.
One down.
Okay. Got you. Okay. Oh, okay.
We have Debbie Roman.
That's blank.
Put my name on it.
It's so.
Pick a gift credit. Sign. Oh. Whose phone is this? We're gonna get you look for it. Gotta go elbow
They won't get hurt, you guys. Sorry. Hector Ochoa. And Ashley M. Jeffrey Williamson. And Amira. So these tickets were given out to students by teachers if they did an act of kindness, and they've been earning them up since the beginning of the year, and they went to field trips, and they got gift cards too. So this is just the last batch of the year. So thank you.
Real quick, I just want to say, this is my second year at AOC, and I started with the junior class last year, so this was my first group of graduating seniors as a counselor. And you guys have created a special place in my heart. I'm going to miss you so much, and I've absolutely loved working with every single one of you. So congratulations, and you don't have to listen to me bug you about your classes anymore. So good job.
Thank you all so much for coming. Parents, family members, we have a reception for you and for our graduates out in the hallway. And I'd like to go ahead and dismiss the rest of the students back to class at this time. Thank you guys.